Hi, I'm Case Lowe, co-host of the Open the Voice Gate podcast. The one question I'm constantly asked when it comes to Dragon Gate is, how do I get into the promotion? Well, stop asking and start listening to the Open the Voice Gate podcast, released every Wednesday on the Voices of Wrestling podcasting network. For exclusive news and show reviews, look no further than the leader in Dragon Gate coverage, Open the Voice Gate.
Hello, do you like New Japan Pro Wrestling? Are you a Shin Nihon freak? If so, check out the Super J-Cast with Joel and Damon on the Voices of Wrestling podcast network.
And even if you fucking hate New Japan Pro Wrestling, listen to the Super J-Cast anyway. Not just for our great show reviews, analysis, and pastrami sandwiches, but there's also usually some dick jokes somewhere in the obligatory opening 30 minutes of absolute nonsense we chat about every single week. That's the Super J-Cast for all the best talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling, crisps, and pornography.
This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling podcasting network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Super J-Cast, joined by... I didn't introduce myself.
Just do it yourself.
Ruined it already. I'm just going to introduce you.
No.
Joined by Damon McDonald. Yeah. I'm the other guy. It is Wednesday, 18th of October, 2023. This is episode 277. How are you doing, Damon? You all good?
Yeah, I think so, right? We're... weather is getting a little crisper, getting a little more... You got your new... purchased hoodie on, big time pro wrestling hoodie. Me, I'm just sitting here in a pair of shorts.
When I bought the United Empire hoodie, mainly because it was so fucking cold in London.
Was it? And
I wasn't expecting it to be that cold, so I was freezing, and I just I need another layer here. So got myself another hoodie, my nice United Empire hoodie. It was the only hoodie they were selling. I would have liked something different, but I got that. A Gene Blast t-shirt and a Lion Mark cap. So very happy with my purchase. And yeah, I'm wearing my United Empire hoodie now as we record.
Wow.
Very soft, really comfortable.
Yeah.
Good job to the what's the company that does the football shirts? They're really good. I like those ones.
Who is it?
Blucksmith. Blucksmith, yeah. It's blacksmith, but with the vowels taken out. So I'm just reading that as Blucksmith.
Okay. Well, listen. I think they do a wonderful job. I think here's the thing: there is a big time quality difference between what you can get in Japan and what you can get elsewhere. You know what I mean? And usually, like when I see these fucking shirts at shows, I don't know. They leave me scratching my head a little bit. They're not the best of quality, but that might just be they're probably using Pro Wrestling Tees at that point, right? Whatever. They're not the same. They're just not the same. They don't have the little tag. They don't have the quality and the craftsmanship that I desire.
I can't say that, Damon. We're trying to sell this shit to the listeners.
That's garbage.
We've got to pretend that it's good.
That's sure. That's why we keep we need you to buy more, because you probably need it. Because if you wore it more than twice, it's probably disintegrated at this point. But here's the thing, though. Like, I would say this about everything in the sense of, like, I think I still have shirts from like the early 90s, like band T-shirts that have held up pretty well. And then I have other shirts that are like, I bought it last week, and it looks like it's been through the meat grinder, if you will. I don't know. I think quality's dropped all around. Back in my day, Joel, you could buy a T-shirt and have it forever. 23 Skidoo.
I lost most of my wrestling T-shirts in the China to Thailand shuffle. Don't know what happened to them, but one of them was a Marty Skull shirt. So. It's a blessing in disguise.
I'm trying to think. Do I have a lot of pro wrestling T-shirts?
I should clarify, right? It was an illegal black market knockoff Marty Skull shirt. So I bought it from the sort of Chinese equivalent of what was that? Alibaba called. What's it called? I can't even remember what it's called now. Anyway, it's
like
not the point.
Tenmo or something like that, or Temp, isn't it? Oh no, I could be wrong. I forget.
Called now. I've completely forgotten. But the point is that none of that money went directly to Entertainment Martin. So you can. And this was before the bad thing happened. So
Right, I bet. And it's weird though, Joel, because the T-shirt did say "I support Morty Skull" and everything that he's ever done. Isn't that what the T-shirt said? No,
it said Marty did nothing wrong.
Oh, okay. Here you go. Well, listen, you wear that at your own peril, sir. Your opinions on your T-shirt. I wear them on my sleeve. I guess besides that, what? I mean, not that you care, but I got a baseball team that's been pretty well. And I will say this. Doing pretty well I had a good week in the sports betting world. I did have a good week in the sports betting world. Made a couple bucks. So I'm happy with that. So what we got? We got Royal Quest we got to talk about that you were in attendance with. Now here's your time to publicly make fun of everyone you met. And then I don't know what else we got. So you do what you do best and lead us to salvation.
Taobao. That's it. That's the name of the app I was thinking of. I do have an important question first before we get to Royal Quest.
All right.
How sensitive are your nipples?
That's a great question.
Do you think you could achieve a full grade 1 climax from nipple stimulation alone?
Probably. And I will say this, like...
Should we try it?
Well, if you want.
Should we both of us just do it? Should we just play with our nipples and see?
Well, I don't know about just me playing with them because that's not good. But I will say this, like, I mean, we're gonna pull back the curtain here. When you're in the act of coitus, when you're
vaguely, I have some
vaguely.
recollections of it.
All right, think back. And maybe, I'm sure, listen, there are times when maybe you're not as into, you just want to go to bed, you just want to fucking watch the game, you just want to whatever, and vice versa, right? And where she's thinking, oh my God, I just want to fucking, do the dishes and go to sleep. What does this guy have?
It just reminded me of a time, not with my current lovely wife,
of course
but
not. Right, okay.
when I positioned the act in such a way so that I could watch Arsenal versus Leeds United on the TV.
We've all done
and
that.
I turned around. So I was like, oh, you want it this way? I was like, yeah.
Because I'm dirty and I want to watch this game. All right. But that's like when she does that, when she will get very close and physical with the nips, I'm done. You know what I mean? It takes 2 seconds.
Excellent.
So
I've never tried it.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Yeah. And here's the thing. She knows it. So it's kind of like her, okay, we're done. Let's wrap this up. So it's both kind of like, okay, this is great. This is, we're wrapping up and it feels great. But then in the back of my mind, I am like, it's gotten to the point where it's like, no, I feel like she's just doing this just to end this. And then I don't care.
Right.
I just come all over.
You to like, bring it home.
Right. Take it home. Right. This is the equivalent of the referee whispering in your ear, take it home. we're 5 minutes over. Yep. That's the equivalent. That is the equivalent. Good stuff.
Well,
all right, listen.
Yeah, the reason I'm asking is I've just shared you a link on WhatsApp of an amusing video clip. Well, you describe to us what you're seeing here.
All right, so let me first get my phone and...
You're listening to Damon describes funny Twitter videos that Joel sends.
Oh, yeah. Somebody, where did I see? Yeah, this is Yuji Nagata. Yuji Nagata has 2 young ladies who are... One has one, and the other has the other, and he's doing the eye roll thing that he does on his T-shirt. I think he just blew a load. Good for him. And everybody's laughing at him. Ha ha! You ejaculated. I'll tell you what. Those 2 girls were fucking rubbing my nips. I'm not gonna lie. I would probably.
I mean, that's very bold of Yuji Nagata to agree to do that.
Yeah.
In his underpants as well.
Yes. Doesn't he have a significant other?
Wonder how she feels about that.
I don't know. I think
she might be into it.
Well, listen, I might.
She might not have known before. She might be watching that, thinking, "Yuji, why didn't you tell me?"
Maybe. You know what? Maybe. But think of it this way.
Or maybe he orchestrated the whole thing. He designed this TV program as a way to let his wife know that he's into that.
I think his whole wrestling career was based around that. His IWG.
It's just a long gambit.
Yep, the long run. He's into the long story. He's in for the long haul. I'll tell you what. If she was shocked by that, maybe she's a little disappointed by that. That's where we swoop in, sweep her off her feet, let her know how pretty she is, let her know, you know what, she's still appreciated and she's still sexy, and then we start rubbing her nipples, right? What am I saying?
Okay.
What am I saying?
No, let the man cook.
Yeah.
I like it. I like where this is going.
Yeah, me too. And then, I don't know what else. But yes, Yuji Nagata.
We're veering dangerously back into the erotic fan fiction.
We sure are. I wonder if there's any more. I haven't really explored it. I'm a little afraid. It's really kind of not my thing either. But I did thought it was funny that we had one where, you know, we had a moral to the story. Yeah, it was like an old fable carried down on stone tablets about us appreciating.
Oh, there's one here actually about Tangaloa and Chase Owens. Oh no, wait, no, that's just the New Japan booking.
Oh my lord! Look, what would you rather have, Chase Owens or David Finlay? Because we're seeing a lot of that.
No, we'll get there.
All right.
Let's keep our powder dry. I'm going to talk about Royal Quest III.
All right.
And I was just saying to you before we were recording that for me, now the pre-show meetups are arguably the highlight of the day for me.
Wow.
I have as much fun at those as I do at the shows, which is weird for me to say because I'm an introvert and I don't like parties. I don't like social gatherings. But there's just something about these meet and greets where they're not meet and greets, are they?
I mean, it's just a get together, right?
£20 to do up.
It's not like you're sitting behind a table signing fucking 8x10s, right?
Because I think what my problem is with the social situations and parties and stuff is trying to think. It's the small talk, trying to think of stuff to talk about.
Oh god, yeah.
Because I only really like talking about wrestling and football and retro video games. And anything else apart from that, I've got no interest in. And it's extremely tiring trying to pretend to be interested in anything else apart from that. And especially being interested in other people and all their boring rubbish. But at these meetups, that's all we talk about. It's just mainly wrestling and a big chunk of football as well. And it's just like being with a group of people that I feel like I've known for a very, very long time. Because you can just sit down, have a drink, talk about the graps, talk about the footy, and it was just a wonderful time. So I met with a lot of people, a lot of Discord freaks. So who was there? Yap, Michael CC, the Young Lion was there, Minty, Violent Skipping, Curtis from Okada Shorts.
Oh, wow. Big
Sipsy, of course. Nick, MBTLOUFC, the Oxford United guy. Matty, Revo. Yeah, really good turnout. Thank you, everyone, for the ciders. And I had a blast. I thank you so much for coming, everyone. It was genuinely the highlight of the day for me. Loved it.
Fantastic. Nice. Now, can I ask, how long does it take for you to get to Copperbox from your locale? Estimated.
Okay, so we're talking like 5-minute drive to the station. Mm-hmm. Then from the station, 2.5 hours to London Paddington.
Okay.
Then from London Paddington, about 30 minutes to Stratford. And then Stratford is just a short walk from there, about 10-minute walk.
Okay.
So all told, it's about 4 hours.
Okay.
Not bad.
It's not bad. It's not bad. I mean, it would be the
equivalent. And I like it. I like having the train journey. I got quite a bit of work done, actually.
Oh, yeah?
I managed on the train ride from Totnes to Paddington. I wrote an action plan for work.
Wow.
Which has been, everyone's throwing snowflakes at that right before my appraisal. So I'm just perfect. Showered with flowers. Everyone's saying how amazing it was. So we can another thing that Royal Quest III can be thanked for.
God damn.
So, there we go.
You're firing on all cylinders, brother. You're firing on all cylinders. That's a good weekend. Damn. Look at you.
And on the Sunday, restocked all my Asian food, my Thai food supplies for the wife. So went back with two enormous carry bags full of food from wonderful Chinatown.
Nice.
Which is probably my favourite spot in London. So what are we talking about again? Oh, yeah, it's a wrestling podcast.
Can I ask you this? What is the one thing? Well, let me take it back. What's the one thing that you can cook that would be in the Thai variety? Well, like, what is there a go-to thing that you can make on a whim? It's like, and you're like, I got this. Yeah, I got this. What's your dish?
Thai food's not hard to make. It really isn't. It's just about having the right ingredients. I mean, it sounds basic, but I can do a really good fried rice, which is a staple that I think you have to. It's easy to sort of get in at the ground floor, but difficult to master. It's a great recipe to have in your locker to sort of use up leftovers in the fridge, and crowd pleaser for everyone. Wife, kids, everyone likes a good fried rice. Mm-hmm. So getting the seasonings the seasoning right, and I suppose everyone knows this at this point, but using sort of day-old rice for it. So rice that's gone a little bit stale.
Yeah, why is that, do you think? What is it? Just it just absorbs the moisture? Is that what it is?
No, it's the opposite actually. It's like it's a little bit stale, so you get better separation with the grains, and they sort of cook a bit more evenly. It doesn't clump.
Right.
My little trick, which other people might find disgusting or repulsive, I get the pan really, 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 really hot.
Okay.
And then before I start cooking the rice, I'll sprinkle just a little bit of sugar in. So get a little bit of caramelization going, then some sesame oil, then throw the rice in there.
Okay.
And that way you get a sort of nice sort of smoky caramelized flavor to it.
Fuck. Now I'm hungry. What does she make that knocks your fucking socks off?
Everything. Yeah. She's an amazing cook. My favorite dish that she makes is a dish called yam kun chiang, which is a spicy salad made with Chinese sausage. So there's this particular kind of Chinese sausage that you get in Thailand that when you fry it, it kind of crisps up and goes all sweet. And then it's served in this sort of spicy, tangy salad. And it's just that balance of the sort of kind of sweet savouriness of the Chinese sausage and the sour spiciness of the salad. It's fucking amazing. It's the best dish.
Fuck, yeah. I'm sitting here craving fucking P.F. Chang's, and you're over here the fucking spicy sausages and shit. It's amazing what they can. No. You know what? I was going to do a terrible joke. Joe, but I pulled back. Because you would get the joke. You would laugh at the joke. You would know it was in a joking fashion. I don't know if everybody else would. So I said, you know what? I'm going to bail out on the joke. Bailed out. That's a sign of maturity.
Well, I'll take that sacrifice. I wish I knew what the joke was. I would have had a lovely chuckle at that, but I'm going to be the bigger man here and say, no, don't tell the joke.
I'm not going to tell the joke. I'm not
good of the listeners, because they would be really upset by it and disappointed.
They would be disappointed in that joke. It was terrible. It was very poor taste. Kind of like what they were. Never mind. All right. Hey, listen. Keep going. Let's keep going.
All right. So what was... So I had great seats for Royal Quest, facing... Well, we were just in front of the hard camera.
Okay.
So we had a great view. I've said before, it's a really fantastic arena to be watching wrestling because there's no bad sightlines. It's like sort of a half-size Osaka-jo Hall. Really good tiering, and you're really close to the action, so it keeps all the sound in. So you... Even with 3,000 people in there, which, not a brilliant number, but, it keeps the noise in, and it felt raucous at times. But how was it TV production-wise? Because I've rewatched it on New Japan Worlds. I thought Chris and Gideon did a really good job on commentary. I think, actually, I would like to single out Chris for praise for almost sort of seamlessly picking up the mantle of doing play-by-play, lead play-by-play.
Yeah.
without missing a beat. Like, he sounds like he's been doing it for decades. And I thought Gideon was great on colour commentary as well, really added a bit of flavour to things. So in terms of the actual commentary itself, I thought that was really good. But production...
Yeah. Go ahead. Say it.
No, you say it.
Oh, it fucking blew. It blew from the minute I turned it on to Will Ospreay. I had to guess what Will Ospreay was driving at the end of the show. So because the audio was just an abomination. But you know what? I will agree with you with that, because it's not the easiest. People think it's just like you just sit down in front of a fucking microphone and it's not this. This is completely different. You know, it's a completely different thing, just having a conversation with you as opposed to being a professional broadcaster and broadcasting play-by-play. You know, is it like you got to know you're like you got to drive the fucking boat, and you got to know when to pull and when to let go and let the color guy kind of make his jokes, and you know you don't want to shit all. You know, it's like it is a little bit more of a balancing act. Whereas the color commentator, you know, he's there to add some spice, maybe some insight, maybe get over his character a little bit, blah blah blah. But you got to know when to pull back and when to press. And I thought he did. And if I'm not mistaken, this was his first time driving the boat. I can't remember another time where he was the lead guy, but I thought he did.
I think he's done some shows in Japan.
Okay. Yeah. Well, listen, he didn't miss a beat. Let's put it that way. I don't remember those shows, but that's probably a good thing, because I'll tell you what, I remember every fucking Lanny Poffo show. That's for sure. I remember all of those. Remember that? Oh my, what a time! And again, the poor man's passed away. We're not going to bring that up again. But what a wacky ride that was. That was just like when we found out that was happening. It was one of those moments where it's got to be bullshit. Like, it's got to be somebody just fucking goofing. Yeah. It can't possibly, like, of all people. Like, if you told me the fucking Honky Tonk Man was going to be doing it, I would have believed it more. But lo and behold, there we were at one time. Those were the days. All right, let me ask you another question about the venue. Like, what is it used for outside of? Because the only time I ever hear of it is for pro wrestling shows. It's the only time I ever hear of it. Like, I never hear of this band, the fucking, I don't know, Depeche Mode's playing the Copper Box. I've never heard that sentence uttered in my life. Like, is it a concert venue? Are there sports teams that play there? Is it a university? What the fuck is the Copper Box?
Well, I think it was built for the London 2012 Olympics. Let me quickly check. The fencing section of the modern pentathlon and the Paralympic goalball and handball events. So
I got a gold medal in handball. Get it?
Hey, wee.
All right, so that's it. So that's all. Just so it doesn't get used at all. What does it get used for now?
Yeah, it's not been used since. So after the Olympics, it was just empty until the Royal Quest.
Are you kidding me?
And then the reference. Yes, I don't know where it was used
for.
We just search every event ever hosted at the Commonwealth.
All right,
so
I'm not saying that, but listen. If I go to Setlist, I say Setlist FM, and I type in Copper Box, I wonder what bands would show up. Let's see. This would be interesting radio.
It's hosted BBC Sport Relief and Invictus Games, as well as corporate events for brands including Bauer, Tony & Guy, and Fiat.
I think I've heard of one. Whatever. Who cares about that? Let me do here. You say Copper Box, right? Okay.
London Lions. They do some stuff there.
And when I put in Copper Box, and it says, and nothing comes up for Copper Box. All right. So do I need a space? I'm so. Oh, here it is.
This is rubbish. This is boring and rubbish.
No, it's not. It's really good. It's really good. All right, can I got it right here. I got it right here. Come on. I'm gonna let's play a game called Guess Who Played There. Oh, I know. All right, so here's a name I know. How about? Oh, this was 2016. I know Dizzy Rascal. He did that fix up, look sharp. Right? That song?
That's great. That's a
pretty good, right?
Spot on impression of him.
Yeah, that's what fix up, look sharp. But then, like, I'm looking, there's nothing else. Last thing was 2018, Joel. 2018. A band called Everything Everything.
Uh-huh.
All right, I'm just saying, like, what the fuck are they using this venue for? I guess is my question. And apparently nothing. All right, no one cares. But New Japan Pro Wrestling found this fucking venue.
Yes. And it's been used exclusively for Michael Oku propaganda.
Right. But again, production-wise, left a lot to be desired again. But I think the show overall, as much as it pains me to say, I thought it was okay. Minus the two, the semi-main and the main,
Yeah. It was a house show with two really great matches tagged on the end of it.
Does that in the moment, did you realize that was happening, or post where you're like, okay, this was probably better because I had a couple pints in me and I was with my friends and we were laughing our balls off?
It was what I expected. I mean, I think that's about what it was last year. I mean, I suppose there was the FTR Aussie Open match, but I think Ospreay Zack was better than that actually. So yeah, I wasn't let down by anything. No.
Okay. Right. I remember going into the show thinking, I mean, of course, Zack and Will were going to deliver, and of course, it might be a little bit more paint by numbers, but Shingo and Ishii were going to deliver. I don't know. I thought a lot of the other stuff just kind of like on paper sounded better. And again, maybe it was just like, okay, this is vacation time for a lot of guys. But there were names on there that I thought would really go out of their way to try to impress. And I just don't know if that was the end result by the end of the show. But okay, yeah, let's get into it. Or if we got other things we got to cover first, and then we'll jump into that, like nipple touching or Dizzy Rascal or anything else you need. Let me know.
So we started off Taiji Ishimori defeating Robbie X 7 minutes 48 seconds via Bloody Cross. Just a nice little tune-up match for Ishimori. Good to see him back and healthy. I thought he worked the crowd quite nicely with his shit-eating grin and his heelish shenanigans. Robbie X doing the classic sort of overly earnest, not hometown, but sort of home country babyface. I don't. He was really good in the Rev Pro show, but I've not seen anything that makes me think, yeah, New Japan, sign him up. He has a nice handspring back elbow and some very funny looking gear. His little jacket with the pointy shoulders, but I don't think I'm going to be falling over myself demanding that Robbie X is inserted into Best of the Super Juniors. It's just fine. Nice little warm-up match. Yeah.
I think this was one of those that I had circled to kind of just let's take take a look, see what we got there. I'm sure that there was maybe a little bit of butterflies and a little bit of a little nervousness. I think everyone understood the moment for him. That being said, he's in the ring with arguably the last guy I'd want to be in the ring with if it were up to, you know what I mean? Like, I got to lean on, like this is my future here. And they put me in with this fucking sandbagger.
Just come back from a serious injury.
Right. That conversation in the back consisted of a lot of head shaking back and forth. Like, I'm not doing it. Right?
Do you want to check? Nope.
Yep. Nope. I ain't doing that, brother. But it was fine. All that being said, I thought this was good. But once again, I thought that given the situation, I was maybe looking for a smidge more. But I don't necessarily put that on Mr. X. I think, opening match, Taiji Ishimori in 2023, not the best look.
Second match was a singles match with El Desperado defeating Trent Seven in 8 minutes and 8 seconds with the El Esclero. I've no use for Trent Seven. I don't like him. I don't think he's a particularly great wrestler. Glad that Despy won. I saw Despy sort of looked pretty strong here, although it was a kind of not a fluke win, but sort of like a sneaky win with the El Esclero. I would have liked him to definitively beat Trent Seven, the fat bastard that he is.
Look, I know everyone at one time, I wouldn't necessarily sit here and be like, I'm walking around with a Trent Seven T-shirt on, like Joel would. He's probably had 3 of them, knowing your history.
He looks like absolute shit, though.
I know. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, look, that was also what 7 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years, around there. So, I mean, again, that's like dog years.
He's just extremely WWE NXT pilled.
Yes,
he spent too long sitting under the Shawn Michaels learning tree.
Yep,
and that is just all he is now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay. Like, here's the thing. Like 7 years ago, would I have jumped at the chance of locking him down and kind of, saying, okay, there's a future for you in this company? Probably would have. He got NXT'd, man. He got NXT'd. And yeah, I look, Despy deserved better, I think. Despy deserved better.
Right, third match then was Yota Tsuji defeating Luke Jacobs in 9 minutes and 1 second with the Gene Blaster. Biggest takeaway from this, actually, Luke Jacobs is in tremendous shape compared to in August. I mean, he's always been kind of doughy, and that's part of the appeal. Like, I don't need every single person after I just body shamed Trent Seven. I don't need everyone to look like Taiji Ishimori, and I think that was a kind of aesthetic that worked for Luke Jacobs. But you can tell. I don't know if someone said something to him like, "Hey, there's an opportunity for you here," and he has just been absolutely hammering it at the gym and watching what he eats. But he looks like a man transformed. Tsuji. He's got that star aura, man. Just his whole entrance comes out, the reaction that he gets, the way he carries himself like a superstar. He believes it, he feels it, and with that conviction, that sort of oozes through to the crowds, and they are responding to it in kind. The match itself was a bit disappointing. It was, I think, card placement was an issue. I mean, this was the third match. If they should have had this higher up, this should have been. This could have been like that. The 7th match or the 8th match, looking at some of the sort of tag nonsense that we got, they should have given these guys a bit longer and let them cook, because there's only so much you can do in 9 minutes, really. Yeah, could have been better.
Yes, I'm with you on that. And I mean, here's the thing, to the point where you're talking about somebody whispering in his ear, and we're talking about Luke Jacobs here. If someone whispered in his ear and said, "Okay, you gotta. This is a little bit of a body image kind of promotion, a little bit. It is. Make no mistake. The fact that he would be willing to put forth that effort, which is not always the easiest thing to do, because let's be honest with you, some of these guys, they got lives. They're trying to make it, so they need a supplemental income to kind of. And I'm not saying that's him, but I'm just saying it's not the easiest thing to do, to dedicate yourself to something that is a might be or a what if. I felt like Yota Tsuji was by far. And it is amazing how far it carries you when you believe in you, right? And that kind of amplifies your point to the extent of, like, you got to believe you are a star, and because if you don't, how are you going to convince anyone else? And I'm not talking about curtain opens and I'm going to play pro wrestler. No, because people can see through that. Like, that is incredibly transparent. And in fact, I think there's a lot of people who kind of shit on that when they see it. Like, I think more than anything, especially when it comes to pro wrestling, and I think maybe music might be the only other thing that, maybe not the only other thing, but those are the two things I think of, is people want authenticity. People want, and again, that doesn't mean I'm coming out and now all of a sudden I'm fucking Akira Maeda. You know, that's not what we're saying. We're saying, like, you have to believe in you. Like, you have to be able to be confident in you, because that, I think, above just about anything else, when we talk about a pro wrestler, and those that have it and those that don't have it, it's something as simple as that, of you believing you. My point being is that I can go through this lineup, and there weren't a lot of times where I'm thinking that. Like, I'm thinking that about Yota Tsuji. I don't know if at the end of the day, I'm thinking about many other people, and I'm talking about names that I just don't know if I felt it. Now, that might have been just, hey, we're in London. We just had, last night was a crazy night. whatever the case. But there were times where it's just like, okay, I just don't necessarily know if I feel that authenticness that I would normally feel with a lot of guys, and even with people that I wasn't as familiar with. I don't know. It didn't feel like a lot of people have that. And again, just to be clear, there's a lot of difference between self-confidence and really believing in you and your character and making it authentic. And I'll get off my soapbox.
William says, if New Japan signed Luke Jacobs, which faction would fit him? I think I said before, my fantasy booking for him would be, he can be Zack's latest recruit to TMDK, and team him up with Bad Dude Tito for World Tag League. But yeah, not sure if it's going to happen, but would love to see it. Fourth match then was the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship, with the champions Driller Maloney and Clark Connors successfully defending against Leon Slater and Cameron Kai, 12 minutes and 2 seconds. So Clark pinned Cameron Kai following the full clip. So Driller Maloney and Clark Connors successfully retained their championships. I really enjoyed this. This was one of my favourite matches of the night. I thought it was actually, I've heaped praise on Driller Maloney in the past, but I thought this is a really good show from Clark. And I think it's important to keep in mind that the UK guys, the likes of Driller and Gay Kid, they've got way more experience than their LA Dojo tag team partners. So whilst they've not been in New Japan as long as the LA Dojo guys, they've been wrestling for a lot longer. So, I don't want to frame this to be like, wow, Driller Maloney's absolutely lapping Clark Connors. Clark Connors is a complete bust. You'd expect that because Driller Maloney has been doing this for much longer than Clark Connors has. But I thought Clark was really good here. I thought he worked the crowd well. I thought the sort of building up the heat for the hot tag was done really well. I just thought the way that they laid out the match was really fantastic, and the fact that they're so good at that already is a really encouraging sign. Leon Slater's still quite raw, but he's got that crowd connection. He kind of reminds me a bit of a young Jeff Hardy, and I'm enjoying how they're sort of blending together the Rev Pro storylines here, because Driller and Slater have got an ongoing feud, so this is playing into that. So yeah, again, I've said before, Leon Slater should be a guy that New Japan are looking at. And I thought Cameron Kai was pretty good as well. So I think New Japan want to take a serious look at both of these guys before they get snapped up by other promotions. And I thought it was a very, very good match.
Yeah, me too. And I am with you in the sense that aside from, the semi and the main, Yeah, I definitely thought this match was, again, a bit behind those matches, but not by much. Not by much. And I think, I hate to say it, but once again, it kind of like shows like these make me realize that the cream usually rises to the top. And for me, having Clark Connors, having Maloney carry the belts and the possibility of interesting and fun, like to me, it's been the best division, arguably, in the entire promotion the entire year, right? It's very rare when these matches don't deliver. And I think that outside of New Japan, there's a lot more flexibility when it comes to bringing in juniors. And I think there's a lot more people that the promotion can tap and bring in to make things even more exciting. And I think for me, like having two guys, what was it? Is his name Cameron Cali and Leon Slater? Like both those guys.
Cameron Kai.
My bad.
And they're both really young. They're both still teenagers, I think.
Oh wow, really? Okay, yeah, I knew they were young. I didn't know. Yeah, I mean that young. I thought they did fantastic given the spotlight. You know, again, am I signing them immediately to junior tag league or just any type of junior participation? I mean, maybe, but truth be told, for me as a guy who this is my first exposure to those two specifically. I mean, I thought they kept up rather well. And again, I can't. To me, the Bullet Club. Bullet Club to me is Clark Connors, Drilla Maloney, Gabe Kidd, Alex Coughlin. End of story. You know what I mean? Like that's where it begins and ends. We're done.
Yeah, I mean they're by far and away the most, dare I say, the only interesting part of Bullet Club at the moment. So I just hope New Japan realise that, because I mean I just can't say enough good things about this Driller and Clark team and how good they are in such a short space of time. They're so fun to watch. Even just the little things like Driller Maloney's surfing on the title belt at the end of the match. That's just the sort of little touches that pop me as a fan. But okay, so moving on then to the fifth match, which was the Guerrillas of Destiny team, El Phantasmo, Tama Tonga, Tanga Loa, defeating the Bullet Club team, Alex Coughlin, David Finlay, and Gabe Kidd. So Tanga Loa pins David Finlay after 10 minutes 41 seconds with ape shit. So Cactus Max says, is it likely David Finlay is leaving? Seems very weird for the Bullet Club leader to take the pin for Tanga Loa, of all people. William says, was there ever an update, or is Tama Tonga signed to New Japan?
He signed, right?
Yeah. I mean, the word on the street, the speculation, and again, it's absolutely unconfirmed, this is rumour and conjecture, that one of the conditions for Tama Tonga re-signing was, and Hikuleo re-signing actually, was for Tanga Loa to get some goodies out of it, get a little bit of a push. So, I mean, looking ahead, we've got this. I've got nothing to say about this 6-man match, by the way. But looking ahead, where we have this Tanga Loa David Finlay singles match, there's exciting possibilities, such as David Finlay losing, getting booted out of Bullet Club, booted out of New Japan. Gabe Kidd becomes new Bullet Club leader. More likely is, again, whatever the opposite of fantasy booking is. What's the opposite of fantasy booking?
Reality booking.
Disaster booking. Apocalypse booking.
Right.
Is Tanga Loa to lose that. Maybe he's getting outnumbered. Basically some sort of situation where Chase Owens gets involved, and then Chase Owens is somehow redeemed. He decides to protect Tanga Loa. I don't know why. I don't care. I'm not going to force my brain to do those gymnastics. But Tanga Loa's been talking about it backstage, about how, Chase, you're better than this. You used to be a real man, blah, blah, blah. I've just got this horrible feeling that we're going to get a Tangelo Chase Owens team in World Tag League, and I've got a horrible feeling that they're going to do quite well.
March of 2023, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Was that when he became the leader of the Bullet Club?
Yes. Yes.
Was it March, April, somewhere around there? It was springtime, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't it feel like it was 7 years ago? Like, it's amazing how in just a short amount of time, we have, in all due respect, from a calendar perspective, it's not like this guy has given a lot of time to get comfortable in this role. The problem is that it feels like it has been forever, and that is not a good thing. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Should we all sit on our hands, shut our mouths, be patient, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I don't think right now this company can afford for people to be the wait and see. Let's see what happens. I don't know if we're in that. If we have, I just see rope being chewed and eaten away, right? And there's only so much goodwill, and this company did book this and that. There's only so much rope left in me for this. And again, I look back and it's like it hasn't been a ton of time, but it does feel like we are shoving a fucking square peg in a round hole. And I don't have an answer as to why. I don't have an answer as to why we continuously have David Finlay in these, I'm going to go flat out and say it, meaningless programs against another guy who, look, when I talked about feeling it and being it and doing it and having confidence in you earlier, that little rant, I'm looking at some specific people. And I think, let's put two and two together, right? It's let me put it right now. Are you cutting your losses right now?
Fraud watch.
Are we done with David Finlay?
I'm done with David.
I'm done with him. Me too.
I'm done. Now, look, I'm not saying that I think this loss means that he is on his way out. I mean, I can easily see events at Power Strong happening that he wins and puts himself back in position for something prominent. I just don't care anymore. I've seen enough.
Yeah,
he's not the guy.
He's just not. He's just not.
And granted, right, the New Japan are not doing him any favors. It would be nice if they could let him feud with someone who is not part of Gorillas of Destiny.
1,000%.
That might be a start.
Yep.
And maybe make your Bullet Club leader not eat pinfalls to the guy who's still getting booked in the company as a favor to two guys that most Western fans didn't want you to re-sign. That might be another good step. I don't exactly. It's not as if they are giving him A-grade material to be working with here, but it's a combination of him not convincing and the booking not really being convincing. I just think, well, what is this?
Well, right, but I mean, I'm with you with 1,000%. But I get then okay. So the guy who's giving him these storylines is the guy that's in his corner in front of the curtain, right? If anybody's going to have a vested interest in David Finlay, wouldn't it be Gedo, right? Just because of the fact of who he is and what his role is, in the ring.
Well, the Booker Dome, he's just a messenger. So,
right. Well, listen, I will pay for Kikuchi's apartment. Here's what we need. We just need a civilian, like a little comic book nerd. We just got to find another one. I'm sure there's a million of them. I'm sure walk around Shibuya or Akihabara or wherever. You'll find one. Find one. We need one. We need one immediately. Because what's an even more, not frightening thought, concerning thought would be what I just said. Like, is it the fact that we're out of ideas for this guy? Is it the fact that he's booked again in these programs, and again, he's not really gotten an A+ program yet? And again, March, April, we talk.
I just love it. We've tried everything. We've tried everything. We've had him feuded with Tamatonga. We've had him feuded with Tangaloa. Yeah. We've had him feuded with Tamatonga again.
Right.
He's done this. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out of ideas.
Yeah, it does seem like we're really not trying. But again, it doesn't. But okay, so help me understand then, because, like I said, the guy who is in ring, you would think, okay, if I'm going to have any vested interest in anyone, it's going to be David Finlay, because it's quite obvious that my stamp of approval is on all of this, and it's getting over like a fart in church. So, like, what are we doing? Is he intentionally sabotaging? Like, is he like, what's happening? Like, what would be the reason? It doesn't make any sense to me. But again, you have two schools of thought. One, he's just not that good. Or B, it's lack of creativity on top. And I know I've said to you publicly, and I've kind of hinted at these things on this podcast. I don't have all the confidence that I used to have in not only the booking committee and the booking in general. I think the problem goes even higher than that. I really do. Because all I think about with this regime is every fucking misstep and every could have beens and every bonehead thing and everything that left your head scratching. Like, there has been a ton of it. And I don't know if we need a change when it comes to who's booking these shows and or who's running the show. Because right now, all I have are serious questions and doubts. I'm being dead honest.
Yeah, and we have anecdotal evidence of loyal, dare I say, hardcore fans who have poured countless hours and yen into following this product, who are now sort of washing their hands of it, being like,
right,
maybe I'll pop back at Wrestle Kingdom, pop back next year's G1.
Yeah,
this is I don't know, man. Like, they have the roster, they do, and the talent to be doing some really exciting things. Yeah, but they're not. Like, this period, this sort of post G1 period, or even during the G1, has been, and I know typically after G1 there's always a bit of a lull, but this seems particularly insipid booking, even for this traditionally dry period.
Yeah, it really does feel that way. And here's the thing too, though.
Like, what are you excited about for Wrestle Kingdom?
Joel, I don't mean to be a wet blanket. Like, that's the last thing I really want to be. Because every week for 2 hours, I talk about this product with you. And we have thousands upon thousands of people who download this nonsense and listen on their commutes, on their job sites, on their lunch breaks, whatever. And I appreciate each and every one of them. I really do. That being said, we are in a heap of trouble Because the one thing that you said that people could hang their hat on is this roster. This roster, the talent is there. But guess what happens after Dash? Changes, right? That everyone is bracing for impact. As well, I feel you should. So that's a scary thought, because it feels like we're booking to look. Traditionally, New Japan Pro Wrestling has a pattern when it comes to developing their young lions into stars. And a lot of times that is a very slow burn. That's what we're waiting for, Joel. We're waiting for these guys to be elevated to a certain point. Now, the counter argument to that is it's pro wrestling. Like, I don't have to wait for you to develop a fastball. I don't need to wait for you to be able to fucking bend it like Beckham. I don't know. I'm trying to give you a football analogy. That's the only one I got. There is no development that necessarily, I mean, there is, but like, it's pro wrestling. We can do whatever the fuck we want, right? And we can do it as quickly as we want. But yet we're still going to fucking use these very familiar booking patterns in a time when we can't afford to fucking do that. There's not much I'm looking forward to, Joel, when it comes to Wrestle Kingdom.
It's October. By October, we should have something to sink our teeth into, to be looking at January 4th and thinking, yeah, can't wait for that.
It's October 18th, by the way. It's not like, the clock that we just ripped off September off the calendar. It's the 18th. We're in the middle of the fucking month. But yeah. Isn't that... Like, I can't even come up with a dream scenario where I'm like, okay, if they did this in a month, and then, like, who would they even bring in? That's what angers me, is that 99% of the, okay, I'm looking forward to Wrestle Kingdom, is based around who are they going to bring in when they have fucking talent there already.
That's it. Like, just way too conservative for my liking with guys like Shota. And I know Tsuji has had a pretty exciting debut, that Dominion match. But since then, not really followed up with the speed at which I would like. And Yuo Emra debuted as part of Just Five Guys. We've got to do something. We cannot wait, 2, 3, 4 years to slowly elevate these guys to the top like we normally would. Because this feels like it's circling the drain. We need to get guys like Shota and Tsuji
Narita
and Yuya and Gabe Kidd and even the fucking young lions, even someone like Oleg Boltin. Let's do something. We've got to move fast. We've got to move quickly.
Yes. Even guys like, I always worry about anyone who isn't homegrown talent, because there's always in the back of my mind is, okay, so I don't want to invest anything in, because they're probably going to walk when they get good. By the time they get good, they're going to, somebody's going to pull up the fucking Brinks truck. But there's so many options, and it's like we're just spinning our wheels waiting for something to happen. And Joel, I'm telling you flat out, I don't give a single fuck about Naito and SANADA on top. I don't have it in me. I don't have it in me. It and I understand there's a backstory, and I don't care about the backstory. I don't give a fuck about the backstory. Don't tell me about the backstory. I don't give a fuck about the backstory.
Look, for Wrestle Kingdom main event, I have to believe that it will be a match of the year candidate.
It won't be.
I've seen them wrestle each other before. I've seen singles matches before. I don't believe it will be. So there's just nothing for me as a fan to connect with her and get excited about.
I got nothing. I'm telling you, I have flat out nothing. Like, no emotional connection. Like, you as one of the biggest Naito fans that I know, for you to sit there and be like, that's gotta ring some alarm somewhere, right? Like, I sat next to you at that fucking dome and watched you lose your mind at the last 5 minutes of Naito winning that title. And not for nothing, the absolute fucking firestorm of Kenta coming in and beating the, he didn't get the chance to do his fucking post-match shit with the title. Like that moment, it was like the last, like that was it. That was it. And yes, we've had really good matches. We've had great matches in the Dome. But I don't think that we've had a significant match that moved the needle for New Japan Pro Wrestling fans. We've had dream matches, and we've had, but I don't like I don't know. Even the dream matches don't feel as important as you would think they should. Look, to answer your question, and again, I don't mean this to be a depressing come to Jesus moment for New Japan Pro Wrestling fans, but I think you can't deny what's happening. And if you're excited for it, man, God bless you. You know what I mean? Like, good for you. You got some. You're getting something out of this. Cool. Go. Take it all in. But as a person who's been following this product since, religiously since, 80s, late 80s, when I started really getting tapes on a consistent basis, I'm trying to think back. Like, there were times when New Japan was dog shit, but there was always, I don't know, like, it just felt different. Like, it never felt as dry. That's what it is. It's the dryness, and it's the look, we got a lot of great prospects. I only have so many days on Earth. You know what I mean? Like, I'm kind of old. Let's be very honest. And I don't know if I have the physical, mental, all of it to be able to sit through 2 years of waiting for guys to develop. It's fucking pro wrestling. Let's stop with the idea that, these guys really need to learn how to hit a suplex and they need, it's stop it. This is crazy. This is crazy talk. Let's just get a fucking move on. Now, I know there are people that are waiting for Wrestle Kingdom and they're like, okay, just wait till Wrestle Kingdom. Everything will be okay after Wrestle Kingdom. Okay. And I'm willing to do that. But boy, it's been a slog. I'm not going to lie. It's been a slog.
Sixth match, Ren Narita and Shota Umino teaming up to defeat Francesco Akira and Great Khan. So Shota pinned Akira after 10 minutes, 25 seconds with the Death Rider. Is there any juice in this Ren Shota thing? I mean, we talked last week about them probably teaming up for World Tag League, but I mean, obviously the story goes beyond that. This is a rivalry between them, and we'd expect a singles match at some point. What do you think is or can you think of an exciting end point for this Ren Shota situation?
Yeah, I mean, eventually, I'm guessing that this to me, this is blueprint, and again, it's working to various levels, but this is what they're attempting anyway. All Japan, when their young guys were coming through and trying to make a name for themselves and entering their tag league, which consistently was awesome. When you had Misawa and you had Kawada and you had Kenta Kobashi, and you had all these people that were ready to break through. And I'm not saying all these guys are in the same class, league, what have you. Please understand that. But you had Misawa and Kawada for a little bit of time at least. Having some type of partnership and at least some type of working agreement that then branched off into, both guys chasing the same title. And, now you throw in a fucking Stan Hansen, and now you throw in a Steve Williams and a Terry Gordy. And, now you got some really interesting shit going down. And I feel like that's what we're doing here. This is just another step in that. And now we're tagging together because we have mutual respect for each other. But eventually down the road at a Wrestle Kingdom 3 years from now, we're going to be main eventing against each other. Like that, those are the vibes I get from that.
Yeah. I don't know if this is sort of going to pay off at Wrestle Kingdom. I mean, that's a highly speculated endpoint that maybe we get the Shota versus Ren singles match at Wrestle Kingdom, but they're cooking. I'm going to let them cook. Seventh match was Tetsuya Naito and Bushi defeating Sanada and Doki in 9 minutes 29 seconds. Naito pinned Doki following the Destino. Just case in point, right? I'm not going to relitigate this because we've talked about it a lot, but Sanada got misted at the end of this match, and he reacted to that with the same energy and venom of a guy who's just had his leg splashed by a car that's driven through a small puddle, just sort of looking a little bit irritated, shaking his head in mild disapproval. Yeah. The highlight of this entire match was Naito exiting the ramp and trying not to touch any of the fans, like when he went all sideways and was like crouching so none of them could touch him. That was the best part of this.
This is yeah. I mean, look, this match was the reason fast forward buttons were invented. It feels like it just didn't do anything, and it was just total. We're in London, and we're in London mode right now. We're
big house show energy.
Oh,
T-shirt Naito.
My goodness, look, if you like them, great. SANADA stinks. Jesus Christ. I'm done with SANADA. I'm done with...
Carry yourself like a fucking world champion, man. It's just, people stealing his belt, people missed him in the face, and just nothing.
Nothing.
No reaction.
Well, I don't...
He can't do it. He can't, like, he's had his moments where he's able to bring the energy and the ferocity to something above, like, third gear, but it's just, no, he's not got that levels to him.
Yeah. That kind of stoic, reserved thing, if people get excited over that, then okay. And I know people are going to say, well, he's massive with the Japanese audience. And is he? Okay. All right. Because here's the thing.
Transitional toilet, Damon. Transitional toilet.
Transitional toilet. And look, here's the problem. We gave him a new coat of paint, as we all love to say. We gave him a new coat of paint. But without the realization that underneath that layer of paint is the same fucking cruddy wall that we've had for many years. It's like, why would we think we were going to have anything different? Because there's no evidence to that.
No, give him the fresh coat of paint, give him the cup of coffee with the world title, then pop him back in the mid-card where he belongs.
Yeah.
Why are we dragging this out to a fucking Tokyo Dome main event? That's where it's gone wrong for me.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Suji should have beaten him.
Look,
should have beaten him.
Is there... All right, go through the roster just quickly in your head. Is there anyone that you would not give the title to over SANADA?
Come on.
Would you give
SANADA's good. He's a very good wrestler, and he's a strong upper mid-carder in the company.
Okay. Would you rather have...
I would not...
Stop me when I get out of control. Just stop me when I get out of control.
Don't say Michael Elgin this time.
Just say, Damon, you're out of your fucking skull. No. And I'm just going to rattle off names. You tell me when to stop. Shingo. Ishii. Zack.
Stop. No, he's above Ishii for sure.
Really?
We cannot have Ishii anywhere near that world title. No.
You would rather have SANADA over Ishii. Even if it's just a cup of coffee with the title. I'm not saying he's going to be a fucking, he's breaking Okada's record.
No. I've got to draw the line that you can't. Ishii must not have that cup of coffee.
Okay.
It is integral, and I'm saying this as someone who really likes Ishii. It is integral to the whole the whole identity of Tomohiro Ishii that he does not get that cup of coffee.
Okay. All right. Then we could stop there, but I would absolutely give it to Ishii for a cup of coffee because I have more confidence in him as a champion and producing shit that I would absolutely enjoy watching as opposed to SANADA. No fucking doubt in my mind. I would do it tomorrow. I would do it now. If somebody said, Damon, here, you got the book. You got to pick between SANADA and I absolutely, I'm doing it tomorrow. There's so many, whatever. You know what? We're beating a dead horse. We got a main event. Yes, it's October 18th.
There's good stuff on this show.
How many fucking weeks are we going to say the same thing? You know what I mean? Like it's just going to be dreadful. It's going to be fucking dreadful.
Run off so many listeners now.
Yeah. But here's the thing. As many people as I can't stand this. I'm going to jump off a bridge. I can't listen to this anymore. There are plenty of people that are like, you know what? You got a fucking point. They got a fucking point.
Yeah. Okay, eighth match then was a 6-man tag match with Hiroshi Tanahashi, Eddie Kingston, and Michael Oku defeating Henare, Jeff Cobb, and TJP. So Oku pinned TJP after 10 minutes, 39 seconds with a 3-quarter Nelson. Matthew says, at a New Japan show, Tanahashi came out to Michael Oku's music while the crowd chanted for Eddie. What does that say about the status of New Japan's partnership with RevPro and the state of the fandom? And Eddie Kingston got the loudest reactions out of anyone on this whole show, right, which just proves how AEW has just gobbled up the Western market. But, put that to one side. It was a fucking weird choice to make Oku the focus of this match, given that A, he's not very good, and B, he's not a New Japan Pro Wrestling guy. There is a Henare versus Eddie Kingston strong title match at Fighting Spirit Unleashed in 10 days, Damon. Yeah. Maybe showcase that instead of letting British Cheeseburger get the spotlight to absolutely no gain for New Japan. Like, why? How did this match not end with Henare and Eddie Kingston pull apart brawl with them trying to tear each other's fucking throats out?
You questioned exactly what I have. I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer. I really don't. But the only thing I can think of is Eddie Kingston had. This is a guy. All right, let's just pause for a second. Eddie Kingston is a guy who 2 years ago, maybe a little bit longer, was indie pro wrestling through and through. He cuts a promo on Cody Rhodes, right? Cody Rhodes brings him in, and he made an absolute most of his situation. No doubt. Talk about a guy who made the most of his situation, right? Does it help that he is able to be on TV and, once again, here it is, be authentic to his character? That's his appeal. He's not a great wrestler. He's not a body guy. He looks like shit. Let's be honest. He looks like a hunk of shit. But he's authentic. And he's real. What? He's
an authentic hunk of shit. I love it.
You're
not wrong.
I'm not wrong. Go down that entire show. There's really no one else that looked as, like, physically. Again, we're just lining guys up and body shaming. He's on the top of the fucking list, right? He comes with his fucking terrible gear and his beer belly hanging out and his, all of it. His balding, everything. His fucked up teeth, everything. Yet, he's authentic. And that means more. Like, he can have all those disadvantages that pro wrestling pundits will throw out there. And yet, the reason why he is successful is because he is authentic to his character. That means everything. Now, add to that, of all those guys in that match, from Eddie Kingston to TJP to Jeff Cobb to Michael Oku, Eddie Kingston is on TV every fucking week. Sorry, that's a big driver in people getting excited, because guess what, Joel? That's the guy I saw on TV. And New Japan doesn't necessarily have that.
Fine, but can we sort of transfer some of that excitement towards our strong openweight title match coming up in a week and a half, rather than having, hey, everyone, look, it's Michael Oku?
Look at the placement of on the show. Do you think that there's any, it was right, correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm remembering this correctly, this was right behind the semi and main event, yes. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Look, put the position.
I get it. They're doing Rev Pro solid.
Yes,
fine.
That's exactly what it was.
Plenty of Rev Pro guys on this show. At the end of the day, this is a New Japan show with New Japan fans there, and they presumably want New Japan fans to keep watching New Japan. Mm-hmm. And there are probably some new. They were, for a fact, some of them were sitting next to me, new fans of the product, or lapsed fans of the product who'd sort of not watched it before or tuned out for a few years. This would have been the perfect chance. Why am I having to explain this? Yeah. Try to make people excited about the upcoming programs you have in your product.
Right, that's your job. Right. Yeah. Isn't it amazing when you think about it? And it's not just us. It's us. It's Keeping It Strong Style. It's Okada Shorts. It's everyone who has a YouTube channel and a fucking blog and a fucking everything, right? Twitter, everybody. Fucking there's the people who just retweet shit and gifs and fucking screenshot. Everybody's got their little pocket in New Japan Pro Wrestling fandom. And we do more for this company than they could ever possibly do. We do more for the company, trying to get over storylines and, kind of leading. Like, it's a no-brainer. I don't. Yeah. Why? Because they paid for the fucking ring, and okay. I give up. 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 Shingo Takagi, Tomohiro Ishii was a banger. It was a fucking banger, and it was exactly what we expected. Was it the greatest match of all time? No. But look, it was ridiculously great, and I think it stood out like a sore thumb on a show that desperately needed some juice. And I think everybody there appreciated what they were seeing and what they were watching. And once again, I know that is preposterous to even bring it up, but I would take fucking Ishii over SANADA any day of the week. Because guess what, Joel? Tomohiro Ishii, crowd response, and the fans being with him in this match, and with every clothesline and every grunt and every headbutt and every suplex and everything, they were into him 1,000 times more than SANADA.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And this was the crowd pleaser match. To steal a British comedy reference that Minty dropped in the Discord, that popped me. Lots of people love the match. The lariats, the headbutts, the no-sells. Brilliant. The lariats, the headbutts, the no-sells. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Everything about it.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to these kinds of matches, but I think this is the best match they've had since the first one. And large part of that's probably the live bump, watching it with people who've not seen it before and sort of enjoying it through their enjoyment of, this new experience for them. Even so, like, there was one pumping bomber that sounded like a baseball bat hitting a side of beef, and they went all out, man. Like, Ishii, he is quietly having pretty fucking good year.
Yes.
Not just the single stuff, the tag stuff as well, the never openweight 6-man stuff. I know his matches can be very similar, but you can't fault the effort. You never see him phone it in. Yeah, I thought this was really, really good. I was expecting to hand wave and be like, oh yeah, it was the same as all the others, but they went the extra mile to make it feel special.
Yeah. Look, I would be very curious to sit in the back seat of the car of the people that you were near, first time experiencing the product, and who they talked about on that car ride home. And I guarantee you, it wasn't SANADA. It was probably Ishii and or Shingo, right? And I can't believe that I would be that insane to even suggest the fact that a near 50-year-old guy at this point, right? Tomohiro Ishii is near 50, right? Am I out of my mind on that one? Like, he's in his mid to late 40s. To give him the title. Because guess what? There's not one.
Not giving him the title, David.
Look, there's not one person. There's not one person that walked out of that arena saying, oh, I'm fucking pumped up for SANADA and Naito, man, at the Dome. Not one person. But yet, in the semi-main event, I'm sure more people were coming home being like, oh my God, this fucking match was tremendous. I got to go download a fucking compilation of Tomohiro Ishii.
All right, main event then was the IWGP US UK Championship with the champion Will Ospreay successfully defending against the challenger Zack Sabre Jr. 31 minutes, 19 seconds by Stormbreaker. And again, like similar to the previous match, I think this was my second favourite match of theirs. I think it's just behind the one in the New Japan Cup a couple of years ago,
right,
which still like one of the best matches I've ever seen. But even though this wasn't the best Zack versus Ospreay match, I think this was Zack's best individual performance in the series. And this, for me, this match was all about him. Like he took some monster bumps, eating a flying hidden blade to the face. And the highlights of the match for me were Zack's counters, Zack's control periods, Zack's comebacks.
And Zack
look,
eating.
Ospreay did an excellent job setting up those spots and selling for them. He made Zack look really strong here. And there's a strong argument for these guys being each other's best opponents. And, real treat to see it live. Like a real celebration of British wrestling. Quite probably a goodbye to Ospreay, for that venue. I mean, he said it might be the last time that he wrestles Zack. Maybe that means that Zack is staying. I don't know. But I did come away from this thinking Zack Sabre Jr. is a fucking great pro wrestler.
Yeah.
Not a good pro wrestler, great pro wrestler.
Look, if Will Ospreay wasn't having the year that he is having, for me, Zack is real close to one of those big boy prizes at the end of the year. He's had an outstanding year. Go back and watch all these fucking unbelievable matches. Once again, just very similar to that of Will, maybe not as extreme, but a nice variety of opponents, big spots. Yeah, he is a real deal. And once again, he is authentic. He feels like the real deal. He feels like the fucking guy that if you put on Suede in the fucking pub, you're going to get a look from Zack Sabre Jr. You know what I mean? like you're going to get a look. Like he, and here's the thing too. Even Will, there is a authentic feel to him of he's a guy that's going to give you not only a great match, he's going to. This is what I love about Will Ospreay and Zack, but I'm going to focus on Will here. Will Ospreay is the guy that is not only going to give you a great match, he's going to give you the best match he physically can for everyone in that audience and everyone watching at home. He's going to give you the best match that he has in his body. I can't ask for anything more. I can't. And when you have that amount of talent and that amount of skill, it's somewhat easy to take a night off. Because how could you keep up that pace? How could you keep up those demands? How can you expect it night after night after night? Again, against a wide variety of opponents on just, one side of the globe to the other. It's the closest thing that we have to a scenario like Ric Flair in the 80s, where he would wrestle 60 minutes against fucking Barry Windham in Florida and then take a flight and go to Puerto Rico and do the same thing with Carlos Colon and then take a flight and do the same thing with Bruiser Brody in St. Louis and then take a flight and do the same thing against Dusty Rhodes in Atlanta. You know what I mean? Like it's that kind of thing that we're living right now in modern day pro wrestling. Understand that it's going to be a while. It's going to be a long time, and dare I say, we might not ever see something like this again with what we have with Will Ospreay. This might be the last of just the way pro wrestling has been mapped out and laid out and the lay of the land of what we have in 2023. It might be one of those scenarios where this is the last that we're going to see this for a while, unless things rapidly change. I mean, listen, you can make an argument with Kenny in the sense of, okay, he does go to Mexico and he does do his AEW shit and he does do, but it's not like Will, where Will is everywhere. Will is on AEW shows and, drawing houses and then going to England for Rev Pro and then going.
Is he drawing houses though?
I mean, I mean, he's on top of all these shows, right? I mean, all these Forbidden Door shows and even the last Tokyo Dome show, let's be honest, was on the back of him, right?
Yeah, I'm just looking at like this Royal Quest number, the like Okada Ospreay headline G1 show. I don't like, obviously he is. Well, I believe he is the best wrestler in the world, and has been for several years. But I don't know if he's a proven draw. I don't know. I could just be talking absolute nonsense here, but I think that's a conversation maybe for another day.
All right. We've got 3 months until Wrestle Kingdom. We got plenty of to stall and bring that up. But
by the way, I did ask. I asked my friend Sam, who had never seen New Japan before, who came along to the show, and I asked like who made the biggest impression on him. So he says, guess who's the first person he said?
If he says SANADA, I'm hitting stop, and I'm uploading the show, and I'm never using this microphone again.
Okay, he says Ishii,
boom,
for his posture and wrestling style. Great Okan for the theatrics.
Okay.
Shota and Naito for whipping up the crowd and doing some great stuff, and also Ospreay and Sabre Jr. for putting on a brilliant main bout.
There you go.
Also, special mention to the referee, and he enjoyed Leon Slater a lot too.
Okay, look, that's someone Correct me if I'm wrong, completely new to the product, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Not a wrestling fan at all.
How the fuck did they get in the building?
Well, there was a lot of space, Damon.
Well, it was
because of Will Ospreay.
Yeah, well, looks like he's not a draw. Hey, was it Editor Dan wasn't there, was he?
No, he couldn't make
What
it.
the fuck?
I know.
Had a poop? What's going on?
Yeah, it's a massive poop.
Oh, God. It's terrible news. All right. Yeah. Well, everything all right? Uh-oh. Oh, boy. Oh, no. All right.
I don't know. Look, he said it was nothing to worry about.
Okay.
He said it. Again, I'm not going to discuss this on.
No.
I think he's fine.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Do I got to?
All right.
Do I have to send him a text?
I think we should. Yeah, we should send him a text just to sort of check in.
Okay.
See
See
if he's all right.
All right.
I think it was just a. No, I don't mean that. It's just.
Yeah.
He's fine.
Okay.
He's fine.
All right.
Right. So afterwards, Shota Umino came out for the challenge and sang the "Shut Your Fucking Face, Uncle Fucker" song, which I've not heard that. So God, that was. I remember that was the South Park movie when I watched that after my bar mitzvah. So it's like 20 years ago. So Shota Umino dropping a 20-year-old pop culture reference there, which is certainly something. And also backstage, Gabe Kidd attacked Will Ospreay, choked him out, beat the piss out of him, which was really good. Yeah. So Multiverse A says, does Shota take the title from Will at Power Struggle, or are we getting Ospreay Mox 2 at Wrestle Kingdom? And if it's the latter, who wins? Also for Sports Damon, 1, go Phillies, and 2, with NHL season starting, is this the year the Leafs win the cup? No, you're not allowed to answer that. I'm going to deal with the wrestling stuff first. So, yeah, we have Shota versus Ospreay set up, and I'd hope that was going to be for Tokyo Dome, but it's not. It's for Power Struggle, and I suppose the chalk pick is Ospreay retaining, and then I guess we could do Ospreay versus Mox at Wrestle Kingdom, and I understand for Wrestle Kingdom you want to have the casual Western draw. I just don't want any more Tony Khan offer matches, please. I want to see, if this is Ospreay's last Wrestle Kingdom, I want to see him putting over one of those young New Japan guys, whether it's Shota or Ren or Tsuji or Emra or even Gabe Kidd. Yes. Put over someone who's a full-time contracted New Japan Pro Wrestling employee, please. That is what I want. I don't think it's too much to ask. Right. And also, I don't really think Shota should be losing 4 matches in a row to Ospreay. I really think Shota should be winning this one.
Yeah, I mean...
And then, what we can do, we can then have Jon Moxley, post-match, congratulating Shota, and then attacking him. Why? Who cares? Right. Show him some tough love. And then do Shota versus Mox at Wrestle Kingdom. And Shota wins.
Okay, yeah, yes. To me, that makes 1,000% more sense.
Just put the fucking rocket pack on someone. Like he's ready, man. He's ready. He doesn't need any more time. He doesn't need more nothing. He's great. He's good to go. Do something with him.
The idea that you're going to fly in Jon Moxley, who I'll be very honest with you, I don't care one bit, right? Okay, we're gonna bring him in, and we're gonna have him go over on Will Ospreay, right? With the idea of Will Ospreay's leaving, so okay, great. Like, does that make any sense whatsoever? Help me understand that one. Where the scenario that you laid out in literally a minute, less than a minute, right? About 45 seconds. That makes perfect sense. There's a story already built. You're only elevating New Japan guys. What are we doing? But the problem is this. This is the problem. Tony Khan is not going to allow Jon Moxley to lie down in the Tokyo Dome to anybody. Anybody. It's not going to happen. So here we are. How can this be? How can it... do you mean to tell me that the only value that Will Ospreay has to this company at this point in time is the possibility of him losing to a guy who is not even a contracted New Japan Pro Wrestling wrestler, to put a title on him so that he can ignore it every week on TV.
Yeah, and then get injured, and then it has to be shuffled off to someone else.
Right. And it's ignored for 6 months. What the fuck are we doing? I'm not saying this is it carved in stone, but it does look like that's where we're heading, Joel. And I'm telling you flat out, if that's the route we're going, I gotta step aside. I feel like there's other things in my life that would be incredibly better use of my time than to sit and to want some sanity with this fucking promotion right now. Fuck me.
Andrew says, with Obari saying he doesn't know when there'll be another Royal Quest and the attendance perverts talking about a disappointing Royal Quest III number, are New Japan fans setting their expectations too high for what New Japan can do in the UK and what a good number is? 3,191 would be any US show this year, excluding Forbidden Door, and would have been a decent number on the G1 tour.
Okay.
So what do you think about that number? Because I'm comparing it against the number that RevPro did, which maybe is unfair considering they had a lot of fly-ins there who were there for Wembley show the following day. But all the same, you know, it's half of what the original Royal Quest did, and it's nearly half of what the RevPro show did. It's not something I think New Japan should be, you know, cracking over the champagne for, personally.
Well, one, this is a show that, you know, was, correct me if I'm wrong, years in the making, right? How many people would you guesstimate were, this is the, like, aside from the person that you brought, how many people do you think, and give me an estimate, you can throw a number out there, how many were new fans? And how many people do you think were at every other Royal Quest show?
Oh, man, that's impossible to say. I don't know. I would say, I don't know, about 5%. I would say, were people sort of dragged along for the first time.
Right. That's the problem. That is that to me, that's a huge problem because it's the same audience. These people are going to, those 3,000 people are going to go, you know, because they're fans of the product and they're fans of seeing a lot of those guys, right? It's not, you know, it's not like we're breaking any new ground here, right? I'm not so concerned about the number because you're right. You know, New Japan, outside of Japan, pretty happy with that number. You know, running a show that doesn't have any AEW ties, right? It's not a bad number for that. But that being said, it's like that's like we talk about things being cold and flat and dry as toast. Well, yeah, I mean, attendance numbers are going to be that because how exactly did we grow an audience in the UK? Like, we've had plenty of opportunities. We've had plenty of chances. We've had plenty of opportunity. How have we done that? I don't think we have. So, yeah, it's the same people that are going to go to these fucking shows. It's, you know. Yeah. I mean, but, okay, so now, once again, who do we look for? We look for leaders. We look for management. We look for a plan. We look for a future. That's why I opened the show with there absolutely needs to be a change up top. There absolutely, everyone repeat after me, please. We need a change at the top. We need a change at the top. It's glaring to me. It's absolutely fucking glaring to me. I won't even get into the point where we bend over for AEW and take it in the fucking ass every time. But hey, it's a nice house, so you know we got a little extra money. Fuck this.
It's really down a show today. And this it is what it is. We got to be honest.
Yeah, this is how I feel.
After actually, it was a pretty good show. I had fun at Royal Quest, but we have to be honest about the lay of the land. And this is what it is. Can we move on and talk about Super Junior Tag?
Sure, let's do it.
Because I am looking forward to that.
Of course.
That makes me happy. All right, so Super Junior Tag League, we've got the lineup announced. So we have 10 teams in a single block format. We have Taka Michinoku and Doki. We have the DKC and Yusuke Taguchi, Sho and Kanemaru, Wato and Desperado, Akira and TJP, Kevin Knight and Kushida, Drilla Maloney and Clark Connors, Robbie Eagles and Kosei Fujita, Titan and Bushi, and Yo teaming up with Musashi, who is a guy who wrestles for Michinoku Pro. He is 33 years old. I watched his recent, well, I say recent, it was last year. He had a match with Fujita Junior Hayato, which was very highly rated, a lot of people's match of the year. And yeah, it was very, very good. He does a lot of good bridging German suplexes and kicking people's faces and that. So I think we're going to have a good time with Musashi. So Louis says, did you guys, would you ever have guessed Yo's tag team partner for Super Junior Tag League? I'm assuming it was supposed to be Lio Rush. It's just a little bit of context here. So the team name for this Yo and Musashi team is going to be called Musashi Komatsu, which is a play on all the train stations in Tokyo that are named Musashi Ko something. So there's Musashi Kosugi, Musashi Koyama, and Musashi Kogane. So Yo said that he came up with the name when he was at Musashi Kosugi Station and thought that there should be a train station named Musashi Komatsu after himself. Right, and Musashi Kosugi Station happens to be the station where Great Okan saved the little girl.
Can I just say this? Like, I have fleeting thoughts like that a lot. You know, like, wouldn't it be funny if this happened? Or, I walk by a store and it's, Joel's discount spoons. And I'm like, funny, Joel. I know a Joel. Wouldn't it be funny if you really owned it? And that's it. I don't let those thoughts turn into reality.
No, David, this is a Kikuchi special. This is good. This is one of the most compelling storylines in the company right now. But yeah, that is our lineup for Super Junior Tag League. I think it's a really good lineup. Yeah. I think it's a sort of a testament to what a great job whoever's booking it has done in restacking the junior division and the junior tag division specifically, because we've got a lot of established teams, a lot of exciting teams, good showcase of young up-and-coming talent there. And yeah, I know it's something that people would typically hand wave, but I will definitely throw on some of these shows in the background, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of good stuff. So how are you feeling about the lineup?
Yeah, I like the lineup a lot. Once again, it's the junior tags that are carrying things for me anyway, from a fan perspective. How shocked were you to learn that Michinoku Pro was still a thing?
He wouldn't have been my pick for Dio's partner. I mean, I suppose we should touch on Lio Rush, who posted what looked like a really sort of earnest social media thing, but then turned out to be a plug for his new song, his new album. I don't know, like I give up. Rapidly losing patience / sympathy. Like, I don't know, man. Plenty of people in the business have got hurt or sick or whatever and missed big opportunities. But if they were expecting Lio Rush to be on the Super Junior Tag League tour, which I think they were, and he has pulled out of that tour, and it's not because he's unable to compete, then I don't think the office are going to look on that favourably.
I mentioned this to you in a private conversation we've had with, dare I say, some people that I respect and dare I say I admire about this situation. And I mentioned something, and I will say here today, and I will stand behind it. I don't think pro wrestling is a good idea for him. In the sense of the travel, the stress, the commitment to being away from loved ones. And if you are a person who suffers from any type of mental health issues, like in the past that we have discussed. That's not an easy thing to just get over. Someone in our Discord mentioned a scenario, and I just wanted to take that person out and buy them a beer and a slice of pizza and say, I feel you. Not I feel you. I feel you. In the sense of...
It wasn't the Halal Benoit thing, was it?
It was not. It certainly was not. That is where I deleted Discord for a couple days. Just to fucking... I couldn't deal with it. They said, there's nothing worse than when you think you have it all sorted out and you think that you got all your ducks in a row and all your eggs in the basket and things feel like you got them under control and then you don't. And you're away from your support systems and you are jet lagged and you're in a different time, like all that. Like, that's not the best scenario. All I'm saying is this. It's totally fucking okay for him not to be a pro wrestler. Doesn't have to be a pro wrestler. You want to focus on your music career? Focus on your music career. You want to focus on whatever else you want to do. You want to fucking be a...
Being a dad? Like, that's honourable. I support that.
Yeah.
He's missing his kids and wants to be more present as a dad.
Absolutely.
Go for it, man.
Yes. Without question.
Honourable. Respect it.
Yes. Do it. I don't think pro wrestling is a good idea. I don't. And that's not... And this is me saying about a guy who every time he's in the ring, I absolutely 1,000% enjoy what he does, how he does it, etc., etc. I'm saying that the lifestyle, even in 2023, is really not that great for anyone who struggles with just about anything. If you struggle with alcohol, how fucking difficult, how difficult is the life of a pro wrestler if you suffer from alcoholism? How difficult is it to be if you, I don't know, you're afraid to fly, you have troubles at home, and you need to have, you need to take care of, and you're relying on other people to tie up those ends. Like, it's not a great life. I'm just saying. And I don't have any problem with him not being on the tour. I just think that, like, New Japan has to say, for the benefit of everyone, we're going to take a pass. Like, I would hope New Japan Pro Wrestling eventually becomes the big boys in this situation, the adults in this situation, and say, you know what? I appreciate everything that you can and you have done, but we just don't think it's a good idea for any of us. Take care of yourself. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, I mean, this is the same company that's giving Tangaloa a sustained push. So I don't know if reason
it's his contract. I mean,
here's the
thing. I don't blame him at all. I don't blame any of them at all.
No, it's got to take that bag, man. You get that bag.
Absolutely. If you can get that in writing, listen. But here's the thing too. I mean, there is a bit of a ceiling there with that. Never, like, seriously, if I negotiated that and put that in a contract, and I'm not saying it's there. That's the word on the street. And it just winds up being the never title. I would be like, what the fuck? That's it? That's what you got for me? Prick bastards? So, there you go.
Nice deep run in World Tag League with Chase Owens.
Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait for that month to be off.
SM North says, thoughts on Fujita's 2-month 11-match excursion. I mean, does that mean he's officially back from excursion? I don't know. Look, I've said before, I think he's good enough to return, but it would not surprise me if after Super Junior Tag League he's off doing a bit more of excursion. But there you go. William says, with Super Junior Tag League next month, which team should get the shot of Wrestle Kingdom, or do they do a 4-way to put more guys on the card? So what I will do, Damon, is I'll tell you the lineups for the final block night, which is November 2nd in Osaka, Edion 2. So there's no match order yet, But by looking at the final matchups, we can maybe try to hypothesize who may or may not still be in the run at this point. So, in no particular order, we got Musashi and Yo against Titan and Bushi. And again, like both of those teams could conceivably be in the mix on the last day. We got Robbie Eagles and Kosei Fujita against Driller and Clark. Perhaps Robbie and Fujita playing spoiler there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it would be unlikely that Driller and Clark won Super Junior Tag League. They could make it to the final, though. We've got the Intergalactic Jet Setters, Kevin Knight Kushida against Catch 2-2, Akira and TJP. So you would expect that to be a decisive match. You would expect one of those teams to get through to the final. Right. Then we have Despy and Wato against Sho and Kanemaru. And again, I expect that to be a significant match in deciding who goes to the finals. And DKC and Taguchi against Taka and Doki, which I'm assuming will have no impact on the runnings. So just based on that, if I had to pick, I would say probably looking at a final of Catch 2-2 against Wato and Despy. I think that's probably the most interesting final I can think of. And, there's plenty of interesting directions to go. I mean, that's a tough one, actually. Because I think Wato and Despy winning the Super Junior Tag League would be really fun. Do you remember when Wato and Despy were forced to team up last year in that incredible tag match? Yeah. And they were slapping each other, and it was really good. And now sort of Despy giving him the begrudging, not a full handshake, a little finger shake. And now they're teaming up together. Like, to me, that's quite interesting and compelling. So them potentially winning Super Junior Tag League and challenging Driller and Clark for the junior tag team titles, I'm into that. Like, I would say that would be something I would be actively looking forward to for Wrestle Kingdom. But what's your vibe on potential finalists or winners for Super Junior Tag League?
Initially I hand waved the idea of having it be a multi-man tag match at Wrestle Kingdom, but you rattling off those teams.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent.
There's a lot of fucking talent in there, and I would hate to have someone
teams that can make it work.
I mean, you're looking at 8 guys that will tear down the house. It's going to be 5 pounds of shit in a 3-pound bag, but for the first time in a long time, I don't know if I necessarily have a problem with multi-man junior tag match opener. Just because there's so much going on there. And if they don't get there, the only other option is the junior heavyweight title match. And obviously that's going to be, well, I can't say obviously it's going to be one guy. They could squeeze in another guy too. You figure tag champs aren't winning it. I do like the fucking TMDK team. I really like that team a lot. I'd like to see them do something. I don't know. I feel like they're one of those teams that are going to be kind of in the middle somewhere. But if we can find a way to squeeze them into a main event, a junior tag championship match at Wrestle Kingdom, them, Clark Connors, the Bullet Club representation, Drilla, Wato, and Despy. I mean, look, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining about any of that. Seriously, there's like no team where I'm like, maybe Bushi and but even that, there's stuff there. I don't give a fuck about Bushi anymore. But I can't say that team is terrible. They're not.
All right, Titan has had what is probably going to be one of my top 3 matches of the year. Like, he can do the heavy lifting there.
Right,
he's good enough.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot there, Joel. To me, it's hands down one of the most interesting. And again, it's been all year. Where I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. And that's the fun. Like, how we were talking about, I don't know what they're doing for us. That's a bad I don't know. This is a really good I don't know.
Excellent. All right. It is 11 o'clock now.
Yeah, you know what? I'm hungry. I want to go.
Call it a day.
Yeah.
Sorry, Antonio. I'll save your questions for next week.
They're just too long. I mean, we'll be here till fucking Tuesday. You know what I mean? Come on.
All right, redcircle.com/super-j-cast if you want to throw some money our way. ProWrestlingTees.com/super-j-cast for our t-shirts. Big thanks to editor Dan, who you can find on Twitter at LousyHero219. Follow us on Twitter at the SuperJcast. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and goodbye.
Hey everybody, my name is Jesse Collings, and I want to tell you all about my show, The Gentleman's Wrestling Podcast, here on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network. On The Gentleman's Wrestling Podcast, we do a thorough analysis on the biggest issues and trends within the pro wrestling industry. We talk a lot about pro wrestling media, we talk a lot about fan culture and wrestling's place within general pop culture, and we talk about the broader influences that are shaping the way we discuss and analyze the pro wrestling industry. We've had some of the brightest minds in the pro wrestling intelligentsia on the show, including WrestleNomics host Brandon Thurston, both Rich Craich and Joe Lanza from the Flagship Wrestling Podcast, Trevor Dame from the Through the Years podcast, and a whole lot more. This isn't a show for hot takes. It's not a show recapping the latest episode of television. This is a show focusing on the biggest topics in pro wrestling and doing a deep dive on the real stories behind the surface level analysis you might find elsewhere. The Gentleman's Wrestling Podcast is available wherever you get your podcasts, and we'd really appreciate it if you gave us a try. Thanks.
Music. It's not just part of our daily lives, it's part of our wrestling fandom as well, and it has been for decades. That's where this show comes in. Music of the Mat, the podcast devoted exclusively to the music of pro wrestling, hosted by Andrew Rich. Hey, that's me. Each episode delivers a different topic with a variety of great guests, fun conversations, musical analysis, and of course, a heartfelt pun or two. New episodes drop every other Tuesday on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or your podcast app of choice. Check out Music of the Mat only on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network.